This place is a mess, but it's moving day. We are back. What's up, guys? So let's kick over to a scene upstairs real quick to kind of intro this whole video. I know it's been a while since I've been filming these. I'm back. What's up, guys? I am back. Thanks for all of you who stuck through the last 2 weeks. I know it's been a slow upload schedule throughout February. I actually started off by getting the flu. That lasted for about the last 2 weeks. We also moved apartments. So cool thing for me is I get this whole room to myself. This is all mine now. Oh yeah. It's gonna turn into my studio, so we'll do a quick tour of this. I'll show you around the apartment. We've also got a pretty cool view of the ocean now, so I'm really excited about that. I think we can get some cool cinematic shots. Also a great place to test dynamic range, lenses, whatever camera gear we get in the future. So big thumbs up, lots of content coming soon. Let's start with a quick tour of the studio, and then we're gonna take a look at some of the time lapses I captured and do a quick mini review of the Genie Mini. But let's start off with the tour, and then we'll talk about some of the time lapses we got. See ya. You ready for the best part? Believe it or not, the view gets better. Let's go upstairs. Had to put the paddleboard somewhere. Today we're going to do a review of the Syrp Genie Mini. This is the one that kind of pans. It goes along with this bigger kit, so we've got a slider here that we recently got. I'm going to do a full review on this. I got a 2-footer and a 5-footer sled, so we can try both of those out. So the idea with this is that you can attach these. This is pretty modular, so this is going to screw on right to this system. So now we've got a manual slider as well as a panning motion, and then they actually make a Genie Mini 2 that goes between these two, and that pulls on a rope, so you can automate sliding as well as panning. So it's a really cool system. I don't yet have the automatic motor. It's pretty expensive, so I've got to save up for that. But for now, we can review the slider, and more importantly in this video, the panning motion here. So let's go ahead and take a look now at some of the time lapses I've created with this. Again, sorry guys, I was getting over my sickness, so I kind of did these around the apartment. You can see me unpacking today. You get a view here then of me just kind of working at my desk. And let's finish up then with a nice sunset that we saw last night. Not the best, but I think we're gonna have some better ones in the future. The cool thing here is that you're gonna get the native resolution and you don't have to do this in post. Let's take another look at this same sunset here, but what we're gonna do is add some zooming motion in Final Cut. It's really nice to add this different motion when you're looking at a time lapse. It adds a lot of dynamic capabilities to it. It also adds some fun factors. So I'm a pretty big fan of this so far. It's really easy to use. So flipping to the app now real quick, it's really interesting because this thing works pretty well what it does. However, the app was a little clunky. I'll show you how to use it. Once you figure it out, it's pretty easy to use. However, the issues I found is every time you boot it up, you've got to click the connect button. At that point, you have to actually click create content, which was a little confusing. It shows you all of these settings, and all you can actually do is set a start point, an end point, and have it pan throughout that. Now you can set the duration of the pan, and one thing to note is that as you're panning faster, this thing does get pretty loud. I really found, however, at slower panning speeds though, I couldn't hear the motor at all. It's actually hard to tell it's moving when you really slow it down. So what I did is I used my Sony a7R III here. We did SNQ, and then we actually did a 1 frame per second. I'm still anxious for next month when the firmware update's gonna come out here, so I can actually use the native intervalometer inside of this camera. But for now, I actually found a pretty good hack that if you use SNQ, set it to 30 frames per second, which is what I film at, and then you set it to 1 frame per second recording speed, then you'll get a decent time lapse here. So a 6-minute time lapse is gonna come out to 12 seconds. Overall, it's pretty usable, and you could speed it up in post if you need it to be a little bit faster. The other minor clunky thing with this is that in the app, clicking around, it's funny, some of the touch points are off. When you click on certain touch points within the screen, it would actually miss-hit. So when I was trying to select seconds, it was adding time, thinking I was pressing the plus or the minus, even though I was clearly pressing the seconds on the screen. So I'm trying to switch between seconds and minutes there. Another thing is it forces you in landscape mode inside of the app. I don't know why it doesn't let you do some type of portrait mode, but that's, I guess, what they chose. Maybe they have limited R&D budget. So the biggest problem with this thing is that this on the side is a very soft power button. There's no switch, there's no way to hold it. It's one click turns it on, one click turns it off. The problem with that is you throw it in your bag when you're traveling, even just going out to film somewhere, every time I'm finding the battery's dead because it accidentally got turned on. So I'm pretty upset about that. I wish there was a hard press. If you hold it for 10 seconds, all it does is actually kind of hard resets the entire device. What they did, which was smart and I do like, is that when this gets disconnected from your phone, if you're in the middle of a pan motion, it's gonna continue going. So it won't disconnect, you can walk away, you don't have to worry about Bluetooth. As long as you press start or record, it's gonna go ahead and finish the entire motion that you pre-programmed. Overall, I like this device. It's got a few kinks. Most of it's with the software, which is very easy to fix. The actual motor itself works very well inside of here. I'm excited to try the whole modular system out, also see how the slider works. We'll do that in some future videos. So I'm gonna be back on my 3 videos a week schedule. For those of you that stuck it out, thank you for sticking around. A lot of you new subscribers, I'm excited to have you here. It's been a great year so far, and let's continue it. So I'll see you guys next time. If you haven't already, please consider hitting that subscribe button down below. If you like the video, thumbs up. And as always, it's been a pleasure. See you next time.